Hello everybody and welcome to Favorite Cricket on Favorite Sports for a look ahead as South Africa return to the international stage as they face England on Friday in the first of the T20 series, and a very interesting time for South African South African cricket. Obviously, there's so much happening behind the scenes, and that's all we've really seen since sort of pretty much since sort of July, August, September. It's all been about the boardroom politics and about what's going on, boards coming in, boards going out, boards not being ratified, boards then being ratified. A lot of back and forth. And, after all that, it was very nice to see that almost like a bit of deflection in many ways in terms of just trying to be able to concentrate back on what's going on in the field. And we've seen how the 4-day series has started in South Africa, been going for a while. And there's even a big thing, if you're in South Africa, you can now start streaming and watch the South African 4-day series on TV as well. So for the first time in a long time, we've been able to watch South Africans play cricket outside the IPL, for example. But this weekend, we will see the return of the Proteas. And I think, from the sounds of it, we're going to see a very different Protea side. Not necessarily in terms of the players going to be picked, but just in terms of the way that the Proteas approach the game. And I think it's a much-needed change. What we are potentially going to see in this series is a case of fighting fire with fire. And what I mean by that is that England won the World Cup and have been such a devastating one-day side because since the appointment of Owen Morgan as the captain, England have he basically wanted to bring in a culture of fearlessness. This attacking brand of you don't go out there and you be timid. You go out there and you express yourself. And that is why the likes of a Johnny Bairstow, Joss Butler, and the likes have flourished so much, even a Ben Stokes, because they're going out and they are being told, don't sit there protecting your wicket. Go and play your shots. Do what you're good at. And we've seen some sensational performances by a lot of the England players. And you look at their bowlers even, and you think of the pace of Mark Wood, the pace of Jofra Archer, the likes of Chris Jordan, and even Adil Rashid and the way that he's gone about his business as well. It's a brand of cricket where England pretty much say, this is how we play, and we're not gonna try and change anything for what you want to do. We're gonna play it. You're gonna play the way we're gonna play, and you must just we are banking on being better than you at the end of the day. So they're not gonna try and play a different way because they're playing against India. They're not gonna play a different way because they're playing against Australia. When it comes to one-day matches, they're gonna say we're gonna take the game to you, try and beat us. And that's why you've seen quite a lot of chopping and changing over the couple of years in terms of batting order, but. Someone like a Moeen Ali's become so important because he can be very explosive with the bat and offers a lot with the ball. And Mark Boucher has pretty much come out and said that the Proteas want to go a similar way, really. And to pull directly from a quote from his press conference last week, he said, we have identified the way we want to play. We want to be nice and aggressive. That is the way the game is going. But you can't be Mavericks either. You need to be nice and smart. And it's about time, and he's right. The game is going forward. With all the various T20 competitions, you have to play an aggressive brand of cricket, And if you look at the players in the South African squad, you've got to play around your best players. So you've got to think Quinton de Kock's going to be our best batsman for years to come. He's an aggressive batsman. So take that and start saying, right, let's start putting people around who can be aggressive. Faf du Plessis, especially in T20 cricket, can be very, very aggressive. You've seen the explosiveness of Janneman Malan. Dave Miller might have a whole new role within this. But what is very interesting is that the Proteas are currently searching for an all-rounder that can bat fairly high up the order. And at the moment, you've got two options. You've got Adida Petliquire and you've got Dwayne Pretorius. And very similar but slightly different options in a way. Batting-wise, I think Dwayne Pretorius is a better batsman than Petliquire. I think Petliquire has has got quite a good hand-eye coordination. Technique sometimes lets him down, and I still think he's a bowler that can bat, whereas Dwayne Pretorius is probably more the orthodox all-rounder in that he doesn't offer as much with the ball as Petliquire does, doesn't necessarily have the variations, doesn't have the raw pace he used to have when he was younger, but he's quite an intelligent bowler. He bowls line and length, and he bowls a very tight line, and sometimes makes it very difficult for batsmen to get away. With the bat, however, he can, it kind of goes one of two ways. He can be a very aggressive batsman, and for those of you who watched the Mzansi Super League last year in the final, blitzed his way to pretty much win that match. So he can be quite devastating, and he has opened the batting for South Africa in a T20, and he smashed a fantastic innings. So I would quite like to see Dwayne Pretorius being backed further up the order. I'm a big Dwayne Pretorius fan. I think he's just a very good cricketer. Maybe he doesn't do anything spectacularly, but he offers something with the bat. He offers something with the ball. He's good in the field, and I think brings a lot of experience because, especially with the bowling at the moment, we've got so much to offer in terms of bowling. I mean, Kakita Rabada is coming off being the best bowler at an IPL. Amnuch Lukia is bowling fast. Lungi Ngidi is looking back to full fitness. Then you've got Pet Lakwai. Fantastic seamers. The big problem is for South Africa trying to find who's the next spinning option is going to be. Are we going to go to Barry Shamsi? Are we going to look at some of the all-rounders like a George Linder who's been called into the squad? But the main takeaway, I think, as we look further, and we're going to sort of dissect these battles as the week goes by. But the big thing at the moment is, I think at the moment, we if you had to go and pop into Newlands and see how the Proteas are training, it might look very similar to the England camp, because I think that they are both going to try and play a very aggressive style of cricket, which is going to make it fantastic viewing, because we're going to see two teams go and try and impose themselves on the game and try and pretty much just outmuscle each other. It's not going to necessarily be this big tactical masterclass. It's going to be a raw demonstration of the talent and the skills within the squads. It's going to be, I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to hit the ball further, hit the ball harder, hit more boundaries, take more wickets. It's literally going to be one of those. I mean, it sounds very simple, but I don't think we're going to see a style of cricket where you go to a run chase and you approach it by thinking, well, let's look at it very analytically, take 140 runs, break it down, this is what we need per over. It sounds like they're going to try and be aggressive and say, right, let's get off to a good start. Let's try and make that run rate as low as possible. Let's impose ourselves on the game. Same as when you're sort of defending. Instead of from the get-go trying to defend runs, it's going to be, let's try and see if we can get some wickets. Let's try and build pressure. Let's try and take wickets and be aggressive. And we've seen the success of that in the past. Obviously, England won the World Cup doing that. But New Zealand have always been notoriously quite aggressive, especially when Brendan McCullum was the captain. That's what got them to that final in 2015, was just, I mean, you remember the field placements of having a slip cordon a mile long, because he sat there saying, if we take wickets, if we get the right batsmen out, they will struggle to win matches. And it's good to see that the Proteas moving forward are starting to realize that this is the way we have to go. And as a result, this is what they're going to try and do. So it'll be interesting to see how it will go. And I think it's still very much in the building phase, but there are lots and lots of good players with lots of experience in the side. And you are playing against probably the best limited over side in the world. So it's the perfect time to go out and just try it. Just try. Have a go. Absolutely have a go at England and see what they can do. Make sure you keep it locked onto Forever Cricket on Forever Sports. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash the like as well. We're going to be looking at key players, key battles. There'll be reactions for the game as well as previews and stuff like that. So lots of content coming throughout the week. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will chat to you very, very soon.